What up, peeps? Mr.Bones back at you for another Dollar Tree Theater. And we're still on the Robert series, on the third one, and we're going to be talking about The Revenge of Robert. Written and directed by Andrew Jones, starring Lee Bain, Harriet Reese, and Judith Haley. And this is a prequel, so I don't know why they changed titles, because it says original title is a better title to me, The Legend of Robert the Doll, instead of The Revenge. The Legend sounds better for a prequel. If Robert still haunts you, you're not alone. Legends don't die, they kill. The back says, in Nazi Germany, a toy maker takes possession of a mystical book which gives life to the inanimate. After evading the SS, who are under orders from Hitler to retrieve the book, the toy maker boards a train in an attempt to flee the country, thinking he's in the clear. The toy maker soon discovers that a group of high-ranking Nazi officers are also on board. Eventually his secrets is revealed and the Nazis close in, but the toy maker has already used a magical tome to bring a vintage doll called Robert to life, and Robert will stop at nothing to protect his master. So begins a blood-soaked battle aboard the train as the toy maker and the killer doll take on the Nazis. It's a fight to the death, and only the victor will get off at the next stop. This is a prequel. I rather enjoyed the first two movies. I'm not highly into prequels. It's a backstory on the toy maker. This is the toy maker. Kind of looks like a character from Neverending Story. It's just like well over half of a movie before you see a doll. It's about a young toy maker. He tells this story about how his family means so much to him and how much he loved his family. He has a wife and two kids, a son and a daughter, but his wife thinks that he cares more about his work than her, so she goes off to find love somewhere else and cheats on him with some other young guy, and then she's like, I'm ready to move in with you, and he's like, no, I don't want to commit myself to someone that already has a family started or whatever and has two kids. So the dumbass lady thinks, well, I'll just kill my kids. Takes them by their hands and leads them into a river. Drowns them, I guess. It doesn't show it. And then it cuts to a scene, silent scene of her like, yay, look what I did, and puts her hands on that guy's face, and he looks at her in a disgusted manner and throws her hands off his face and walks off. So it's like, yeah, look at the dumb shit you did and it didn't help you. And then it shows the toy maker coming out, running out crying and getting his kids and laying down holding them and crying. And not till you find out, you don't find out till later, because he calls these dolls, he has like a suitcase full of dolls like Toulon and Puppet Master, and he calls them his children. And someone asks him, why do you call them your children? Then he tells that backstory. So then you realize he put his son and daughter in two dolls, which the daughter is in a girl baby doll, that's fine. But he had put his son in a doll, a clown that looks like John Wayne Gacy. And then, like I said, it's like a little over half a movie with all these stories about some guy with a magic book, and then someone's stealing a magic book. He likes to beat on his wife, and his wife sneaks off in the night while he's asleep with the book, and then picks up a hitchhiker who also, he pulls a gun on her and punches her and shit. And there's a lot of that, a lot of weird stuff. People blowing each other's heads off, a lot of headshots, and and then it flashes forward to a little later in Germany. It starts off in like 1940s Germany, then we go a little later, and then it goes on to show him on the train, like it says on the back of the case. And the best part to me is not till like the very last couple seconds. It shows his sister Agatha, which is the maid in the first movie. The crazy lady that sets the doll loose in the family's house at the end of the midway toward the end of the first movie. Turns out, you find out in this prequel that she sort of borrows it from her brother. She goes up to him while he was working on a car. It's like, these people I'm working for, they're not treating me too well. I want you to help me get revenge on them or whatever. And she walks off with Robert in a suitcase, which in the first one you see after they fire her, she gives the little boy, I think his name was Eugene, the doll before she leaves. This movie was alright, except for, like, I don't know, I'm not big into prequels, and there was a whole lot of watching before I saw any dolls, but the parts with the toy maker and, like, all the parts at the end were cool. But, like I said, it's a long wait before you get to see the cooler shit. So, yeah, if anything I said interests you, check it out. I do recommend the first two, and if you watch the first two, you might want to watch the third one, as I'm working my way through them. I got one more left, but like I said, I enjoyed like the last 20 minutes more so than the rest of it. But yeah, that's what I watched. Peace.